with our Michael's Celebrate It balloon arches. I'm hoping that we have some repeat joiners from the last class. So hopefully this won't be too much of a different lesson than before. Again, my name is Sarah. I've been with Michael's 14 years as of last week. I work in product development and I work with the Creatology brand, which is our kids branding, but I have worked with our party stuff in the past, as you can see. So I am going to talk to you about balloon arches today. So I think most everyone is getting to join in. Looks like we have quite a few people online. So just let me know, girls, when we're ready. Do you think we should go ahead? Okay, perfect. I'm looking at all the names popping up. It's exciting. Hi, Janelle. Okay, so again, my name is Sarah. I work for Michael's in product development. I just celebrated my 14th anniversary with Michael's, which is huge because that means I started when I was like 7 years old, right? And so today we're going to talk about balloon arches. So first I wanted to show you some of the stuff that I have already done. As you can see, my house is super decorated, or at least this corner of my house is super decorated. And yes, this is in my house. It's not in a studio. I have a 2.5-year-old upstairs who's supposed to be going to nap any minute now. So if we have somebody just join us randomly, she's cute, so she'll get away with it. Okay, so this is what we've done so far. I wanted y'all to kind of see over here what we did. We took some of our balloons from our balloon arch and we did it up the banister. I had never done this one before, so it was a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of a learning, but I really wanted to show you what you exactly can do with the balloon arches. It's not just about an arch. You can do whatever you want to with these. This is about 2/3 of the balloons in the Halloween balloon arch pack. It's got a lot of fun stuff in it. You can see we've got the marble balloons, we've got some of the metallic, and I just put them on, I cut the strip in half and put them on either side of my banister and did that with them. So I thought that was a lot of fun. My kids are gonna die when they see this. They're gonna be so excited and they're gonna be really bummed that it's not Halloween now. So I'm gonna kind of turn you back this way. And today, instead of doing an arch over my window like we did last time, we're gonna try and do an arch on the banister, not the banister, I'm sorry, on my fireplace. Because I haven't tried one of those before, but I thought it would be a fun piece type to try and do something a little bit different. I've got it all decked out with some of our celebrated Halloween party products that we have in stores now. Pretty much everything that you see here is Michael's product. Some of it's really old. Like I said, I've been with Michael's for 14 years. So some of the stuff we just, we use every year for Halloween, and the pumpkins were all done by myself and my kids. So that's something that we just keep every year and reuse. So the first thing that we're going to do is kind of go back through the basics of an arch building for those of you who didn't join our first class several weeks ago. So Lindsay, I think we should switch to the other camera. Sorry, Zoom's being difficult. So for those of y'all who did not join the class last time, I kind of went over some basics. So one of the things that I do is I have the strip that comes in all of our garden and all of our Garland kits, and I spread it out and I basically tape it between two chairs. So right now I have it taped between a bar stool and another chair, and I've kind of spread it out to just the length that I think we're going to need to put over on the fireplace. So I just tape it to the chair, duct tape, pin it, whatever you want to do, and that's the first thing that I do. That way it gives me like a hanging surface. I can hang the balloons. I'm not having to get down on the floor. It just makes the life a little bit easier. For those of you who have never seen our product, for the strips, I'm going to show you kind of here what it looks like. Lindsay, can we go to the other camera? So here, this is what the strip looks like that comes with our Garland kits. As you can see, it has little holes in it that you can thread the tail of the balloon through. It's really long. You don't need the whole thing, but it's nice because you can make them as short as you want, or you can make them as long as you want. You just have to keep in mind the shorter it is, the fatter and fuller it looks. Fair warning, you will have to vacuum after you use these because these little plastic stars will be everywhere. Just FYI. So yeah, they come in a long strip. I've already cut this one off. So that's what I've got here in between my bar stool and my chair. It's a fun get up, I assure you. Also, I went ahead and blew up all the balloons for our class early because nobody wants to listen to 30, 45 minutes of me blowing up balloons on an air pump. If you're wondering, yes, you can blow your balloons up by hand, by yourself. It works great. You're gonna be exhausted. Your mouth is gonna hurt. And if, like, I was in band in high school, I've got great lungs. If you didn't do that, you may literally pass out. So we do have this great product that we sell at Michael's. It's a balloon pump. It's our celebrated balloon pump. I love the color, it's my favorite color, but these are a lifesaver when it comes to doing these balloon arches, garlands, however you want to do it. They work really quick, plug it in and they will last forever. Just want to make sure that you don't use it outside or you don't keep it outside. It is an electrical product. So that's what I did. I went ahead before the class and I blew up all of our balloons. And that way y'all don't have to listen to me do that. So just in case you haven't seen it, I think most of you did, but this right here is the balloon that we're building. The balloon arch, this is the product. This is how we did it in the studio, super cute. We're not gonna do the arch today though, we're gonna do it across the fireplace, but that kind of gives you an idea of what it looks like as an arch. It's a lot of fun. I love the colors on this and I think it's really cute with the bats. So that's something that we didn't get to do last time, is add little things and like that. So I'm excited about getting to show you guys how to do that today. So the first thing that I do after I hang it up is I blow up my balloons and I do them kind of in order of size. So this balloon arch has 3 different sizes of balloons. We have large, a medium, and a little bitty one. So the first thing that I do is I take.
Will you tell them where you plan on hanging it again?
Oh yeah, sorry. I've had a question about where I plan on hanging it. And I plan on hanging it right here in front of my freaky fabric, as we call it at Michael's. So I already have some command hooks hung up, but we'll go over that again in a minute to hang them by. But that's where I plan on hanging it. I just wanted to try something different than over the window or over the arch. So again, the first thing I do is I blow up my balloons by size. I blow up the big ones first. And most of our kits have at least a couple of these really big balloons. And I call these my anchors. And what I do is I'll go through and kind of strategically place them throughout the arch. I remember last time I had a lot of questions about how far do you space them? How, do you count a number of notches in the garland? I do not. I've built probably 50 of these now. And honestly, I wing it every time, but I do try to space it somewhat evenly. We don't want it to be too uniform. We don't want it to look like perfect. We want it to be fun, but we do want to make sure that we don't have all of the same size in one place. So I space them out. So the first thing I'll do is I'll do what I call my anchors and I'll put them like that. They're not going to look pretty right now. They're going to hang, they're going to be funny looking. It's not going to look like a garland until you actually hang it up. And I also, sorry about the trash bags. I put all the balloons in the trash bags so that way I don't have to spend the class chasing them down like I did last time. I just apologize to those of you that joined me last time for that. I apologize. Nobody wanted to watch me chase balloons the whole time. So like you see, I put one on each end and now I'm just going to kind of evenly space them throughout, not being too precise or specific. So out of curiosity, let us know in the chat, how many of you, is this your second class with me? I'm curious to know if we have any repeat customers here. First, lots of first. So now I have my large orange size balloons. I'm gonna go in and kind of place them.
One repeat, Nicole's a repeat.
Thanks, Nicole, I didn't scare you the first time. That's exciting.
Lots of first.
I will say again, I work in product development. This is not my day job. This is something that I just got asked to do, and I've actually kind of enjoyed it. I'm not great on camera, but this is fun. I enjoy teaching people about crafts. I am an avid crafter. I know I've said this a couple times, but I just had my 14th anniversary with Michael's, and my family is a family of crafters. Both of my girls craft. I have 2 girls, one 11 and one 2.5. My husband is an artist. We have lots of fun with our Michael supplies in the house. So I enjoy sharing that with all of you out there in the Michael's world. So these are our large balloons. You can see, yes, I have 2 orange ones together. Oh, sorry, we're shifting the camera so you can see a little bit better. I have 2 orange ones together. That's okay. We have a lot more balloons to go, so no worries. So the next thing that we'll do is, now that we've got our really big balloons in.
They're asking, how do you attach the balloons onto the strip?
Perfect, I can show you that, sorry. I'm gonna go, let's go back to the small camera, Lindsay. So here's our strip, right? It's got these little star holes in it. And you just take the tail of your balloon and you just thread it through, and it stays really, really well. The only time it's gonna pop off is when you try and get too many balloons in like a really small space, then the pressure will start popping them off. So I really try not to put, you don't wanna put one in each hole, that's too much. You wanna space them out a little bit more than that. Is that good? Let me show you again, just in case.
Does it matter which side of the strip or the same on both sides?
It's the same on both sides. You can put it either side. So you just go like that, it just pops through. And actually when I build, some I'll put through this way, some I'll put through this way. It doesn't really matter, the strip is super flexible. So when you hang it, it's gonna rotate, and especially when you get it up against a wall or something, things are gonna move around. So it'll end up looking better when it hangs up. Okay, any other questions while I'm over here?
No.
Okay,
No more questions.
All right. If I fall over this balloon garland, y'all are not allowed to laugh. I'm just telling you that now. Okay, so now we're gonna go in and start putting in our small balloons. So as you can see, I'm skipping like 2 or 3 of the spaces here on the garland, and we're going like this. Steph, do you think you can move that down again so that way they can see the garland?
Oh, we have to repin you. There we go.
Perfect, there we go, thank you. So lots of these, your garland is going to be consisted mostly of the medium-sized balloons. That's what's really going to like fill you out. And so when I showed you the picture, you saw that there were some what we call specialty balloons in there. We had some marble balloons, we had some silver balloons. Those are what we call our accent pieces. So when I build a garland, I always put the base colors in first, and then I go back in and I put in most of my accent colors, and sometimes I even wait to put the rest of those accent balloons until I hung it up. So that way, those are the really pretty balloons, right? So we want to make sure that those are front and center and everybody gets to see those.
Sarah, will you use all the balloons in the kit, or will you have any leftovers? What Nicole's asking.
Good question, Nicole. So normally, if I'm building an arch that goes over my window, if y'all took my last class, I built it over my window in my dining room, which is where I normally put them. I will usually use all the balloons because that's a really big space. Honestly, I don't know if we're going to need all the balloons. And once we get it up there in this space, we might actually need to shorten it a little bit. But that's the cool thing about our strip, is that you can easily take balloons in and out and move them around if you need to once you have them hung up.
Sarah, can you put more than one balloon in a hole?
I've never tried, but I'm going to say no. You probably don't want to do that because it's too compact. Like they need to be spread out a little bit. Again, right now it doesn't look spectacularly full, but once you get all the balloons on here and you get it up against a flat surface, it is going to like go forward. It's going to fill out. It's going to look a lot fuller.
Can you attach 2 strips together? How would you do that?
So yes, I had that question last time. Yes, you can attach 2 strips together. I mean, legitimately, it's thin plastic. All you have to do is tie them together. Depending on how you hang it, you can hang them next to each other probably and not ever attach it. Honestly though, the strip that comes with the kits are much, much longer than what you see here. So you wouldn't probably want to make it much longer. You're not going to have enough balloons, first of all, to make it much longer unless you're working with like a lot of extra balloons. These are made, our kits are generally made to be either 10 feet or 8 feet long. And we do, when we build them for the packaging photography, we check that to make sure that it indeed looks good at that length. So yeah, you can make it longer, but you're gonna end up You're gonna be really surprised at how big this is when it's done. I think if you make it much longer than this, it's like, I don't have a house to put that in. Maybe you do. If you have like a really big house. But yes, it can be done for sure.
How long will this garland last?
That's a really good question.
How far in advance can I hang it before Halloween?
I can tell you that Stephanie, my coworker back here that's asking me the questions, she's actually the product manager that works with our vendor that develops these. And we have had a lot of practice with them, and we've literally had these last for what, 5-6 days?
Yeah, about a week. They still look pretty
Yeah,
good.
about
and
a
they
week.
start to
If you move them, you're going to have issues.
tie them tighter.
You have to make sure that when you're
Right.
tying the balloon, you tie them really tight to make sure the air doesn't leak. And if you have specialty balloons, like our metallic balloons that we have that we'll show you in this arch again in a minute, those are more prone to popping. So you have to be careful with those. We built them days ahead of time. If I'm building them for a birthday party or an event at my house, I usually build them the night before and hang them. Last year, I built one. I hung it up outside my daughter's bedroom door so that when she woke up and came outside, it was there. Big, huge surprise. We took it down, we brought it downstairs, we put it outside and hung it on brick, which of course you have to be careful because brick can pop them, but we hung it very carefully and it lasted for 2 days out there. So as long as you are gentle with them, they're gonna last a few days. And I'll be really honest, the last time we had one of these classes and I had like 4 or 5 of these built, I gave them away and people used them for parties because it broke my heart to just trash them. So they will last for a couple days for sure. You just have to be careful about A, where you hang it, and B, like how rough you are with it and moving it. So one of the things that we didn't talk about, that we need to talk about that I just remembered, is tying these balloons. So give me just a second.
While you're doing that, Kim is asking, do you insert the balloons on all the same side or do you rotate the tape while you're inserting the balloons?
I kind of I like put them on both sides. I don't necessarily rotate it, but it does move and it's very flexible, so it will go back and forth. So, Lindsay, can we go to the iPad? So we have this nifty little tool that comes with all of our kits that helps you tie the balloons, which is great because I can tell you I've built like 7 or 8 of these in a day and my fingers were bruised when it was done from tying all those balloons. So I'm going to show you how to do this real quick. Excuse me while I load this up. Yes, I could do this on the air pump, but I unplugged it so I could show it to you guys. And I've lost my handy dandy little special tool that blows up the smaller balloons. So it's hard to do these little ones without it. So I just tied it normal. Okay, so that's how you tie it normal. But if you want to do it with the tool, you use this. Ignore the fact that it's already tied, but you just wrap it around. So I'm going to show you that again. You wrap it around. You loop it under. It's tied. So I'm going to show you that one more time. Thank you, marching band, for those lungs. So you just loop it on your finger. You have it like that. Loop it around. And then it's actually quite handy once you get the hang of it. We've got all the large black and medium black. So now we're working on the medium orange. And as you can see, I seriously, I really don't think about this too hard. Like, don't overthink it. Don't make it harder than it has to be. Eyeball it, just make sure that you don't have big clumps of colors in one place, unless you're doing a color block balloon garland, and then you would want to do them, each color, which is also really pretty. We're going to do a class on that shortly, I think. And so I just go in and I put them in.
Is it worth it to put 2 knots on the balloon? Is what We have someone asking.
I don't know, Stephanie, what do you think?
I don't think it would hurt for longer lasting.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt. I'll be really honest, the majority of these that I've built for the studio when we're taking the pictures for the packaging to show you guys what great product it is. And I don't have time for that. I'm trying to build as many garlands as I can in a short amount of time. So I don't think it'll hurt. Word to the wise, do not store these overnight somewhere that has motion detector security system. Because our studio actually had a really horrible night when they had a bunch of geese in the studio at night. Every time the air conditioner would go off, the balloons would all start moving and the alarms would go off, and they were not happy with us the next day.
How many balloons did you use for your window arch that you did?
So just to be really honest with you, each of our arches doesn't exactly have the same exact number of balloons. It depends on the color and the designs and the amount of specialty balloons that we have within a garland. So none of our kits have the exact same amount. So if you get like the mermaid kit that we have in stores, it may be different than the kit that we have that's just like your reds. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. The arch that I put over my window was one kit. It did not go all the way to the floor. It went over the window, and I would say about a third, almost a half of the way down on each side. It's normal standard size windows, nothing special. I also have like an opening in my house that goes from my front to my back door. A couple years ago, I did the rainbow balloon arch there. That's super cute balloon arch. We did that for our rainbow baby's first birthday. And it was so big, it didn't fit in the space, and I ended up taking out one whole color because we have pink in there. So I wanted to keep it true to the rainbow. So you're really flexible about what you can do. If you want a longer arch and you don't want to buy 2 complete kits, you can buy some of our smaller packs of balloons and add into it. No problem. Like these are all of our balloons are pretty much, the same type of balloons, so they can be intermixed for sure if you want to build onto it.
Judy is asking, can you put this garland outside?
Yes, I have put it outside before. I will tell you, if somebody's mowing or if it's gonna rain or if it's super windy and you're putting it on next to a brick wall, you're gonna lose some balloons to popping. You can put it outside. It's just it's not going to last as long. We've definitely had people do that. Like I said, I put one outside for my daughter's birthday. It stayed out most of the day and overnight, and it was fine. The balloons are pretty sturdy. Keep in mind though that if it's near grass, grass tends to make balloons pop pretty bad.
Also, an interesting fact is the sun will oxidize the balloons. So you will lose some of the sheen. They will become have a matte finish as soon as they're exposed to the sun for a little bit of time.
Now you know, who knew? So these are what we call our specialty balloons. These are our marble balloons. Anything that's a specialty balloon that's marbleized or has like the chrome finish or is super shiny or anything like that, they're going to be a little bit more sensitive just because of the way that they're made. It's not just, one thing of latex. It's going to have some more sensitivity to it. So one of the things that I always tell everybody is look at your balloon arch and pay attention to what it says that the balloon sizes are supposed to be. If you overinflate your balloons, even just a little bit, they are going to pop very easily, especially the chrome ones. Those are very, very sensitive. So you want to make sure that you are paying close attention to what it says the balloon size is supposed to be, and make sure that you're not trying to go for a bigger, fuller balloon, because that's when you're going to start losing balloons and they're going to start popping. And since these are specialty balloons, there's obviously not as many of these in each kit. They're supposed to be like small accent pieces. Be even more careful when you blow these up because you don't want to lose that pop of fun that you get there with these. Okay, so those are our marble ones. I love the marble. I think it looks super spooky. I love the way it turned out. I think it's a great addition to how we built this balloon arch. Good job, Stephanie. And so now we have our chrome. As you can see, I blew these up slightly smaller just because I didn't want them to pop.
How do you measure them? Diameter or length, Sarah?
Diameter is really, I'm gonna be honest and tell you that I eyeball it now. But one of the things that is like a telltale factor that they told us is like you want it to be round. If it starts getting that weird balloon pop out at the bottom where it gets like more elongated, your balloon's too big, let a little bit of the air. I do this little squishy thing right here to round it out a little bit. It's a very like important term there, the squishy thing. But I kind of squish it down just so it's a little bit more round. If it gets that pop out at the bottom where it's elongated, you've got too much air in it, you need to back out. So a couple of things that I found that really helps me when I go to build my arches is, and I think I put this in the class description, is command adhesive hooks. I swear I don't make a commission from these suckers, but I use them for everything around the house when I'm decorating. Mr. Bones, who's our family friend up there, our bats, I put command adhesive hooks up there to hang those up. I use command adhesive hooks to help me hang up the balloons on the banister. I've got them like permanently on my mantle over here because seasonally I hang up different garlands of things, usually my girls' artwork for that season. But I love them and they work really, really well with arches. You can use several different kinds, but give me 2 seconds when I get this last balloon in, I'm going to show you what I normally use.
Lynette is asking, how can I keep all the balloons the same size? I'm a beginner. Or all 10 inches.
So you may laugh, but the first couple times that I did these, Lynette, is I like measured out on the table that I was working with some painter's tape, how long the balloons were supposed to be. And with every single balloon I did, like for that size, I put it up against it to make sure that it was kind of in that range. They don't have to be exactly the same for these arches, but you want them to be close. So I just literally put 2 pieces of painter's tape on the table and I just made sure that each balloon was within those parameters. Very scientific method, I know. Okay, let me find my command adhesives, sorry. Okay, coming around. So I'm gonna go to the iPad, Lindsay. Okay, so these are the ones that I normally use. There's just a little clip on them. You want to make sure that when you hang them up, well, you want to make sure when you hang them up that you have the clip part up. I've done it upside down before. It doesn't work, I know. I've also used these before when I need a little bit more forgiveness because you can clip them in. So these are what I normally hang up. I have them permanently above my window that I do the garlands on, have them permanently on my mantle, have them permanently on our windows in the craft room because we hang up our sun catchers that we do all the time up there. So these are great little crafters product here. The other thing that I use a lot when I hang these is I use like a monofilament. You can use almost anything that is like a clear string type thing. I call it a monofilament. This is the kind that I got in our jewelry department at Michael's. It's just like clear plastic. You can go out and raid your dad or your boyfriend or your father or your sister's fishing loot and get their fishing line. I've used that before too. But anything that's like strong and clear, it helps hang. That's what, again, I hung our bats up there, Mr. Bones, everything. These are things I just keep around for.
Nicole is asking, how did you attach the strip to the chairs? And the stools right here that you're working on?
Duct tape. Let's pray it comes off and my husband doesn't kill me later. It is very slippery though. I've used the painter's tape in the past and it doesn't hold as well. So let's just pray that the duct tape doesn't ruin the paint on my dining chair.
And Janae is asking, what are those hooks called? And did you get them at Michael's?
Of course, I got them at Michael's. I don't shop anywhere but Michael's if I can help it. But I'm trying to remember, it's in the class description. I put the SKU number in the description. I can't remember off the top of my head what they are, but they come in a pretty large pack, and I buy these a lot.
Beth is asking, her pack came with glue dots. What do you use those for?
Beth, you're ahead of me. We are gonna use the glue dots, so we'll get there in a minute. That is a good question though. Okay, so now is the fun part. Like I said, I have never actually done a balloon garland where I hung it on the mantle. So you guys are gonna learn with me on this one. Again, if something goes terribly wrong, you're not allowed to laugh. At least mute yourself first so I don't hear it, so we don't see it. Stephanie, we may need to move that camera up slightly just so that way they can see.
Jessica is asking, so all the balloons go in one of the little holes of the strip? Maybe.
So all of your large size balloons and medium sized balloons will go through holes in the strip. If you have bought one of these kits, you know that they also come with little baby balloons. And we're gonna get to those in just a second. Okay. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this.
Do those hooks take off wall feet when you remove them?
If you follow the command hooks, I have never had a command hook take off paint as long as I followed the directions and like removed it gently. Now, if you just go up there and like strong arm it and rip it off without being gentle, I can't make you any guarantees, but I've never had it happen. So there is our balloon garland. It's big and beautiful. And I don't actually attempt to hang the balloon garlands on the commanded pieces. This is where I use my monofilament. So one of the things that you're gonna wanna do is cut yourself off a few sections of the monofilament. I usually do it about 1 foot long. Again, this is not an exact science. This is just me building lots of balloon garlands. I would actually like to go and join like those people that do these professionally and like build the big, huge ones. I would love to go watch them and see what their tips and secrets are. But I seriously doubt they would want to share it with me, as they know I'm just going to get on michaels.com and share it with all of you. I can't blame them for wanting to keep their trade secrets. So I cut myself off some pieces of string. And basically what I'll do is I generally try to start in the middle, like I, kind of find my center. And I just loop the monofilament around it, around the garland, around the strip itself. And then I'll tie off like a large section. So I just make myself a loop basically. I'm gonna come over here and show you what I did. Can we move over to the smaller camera, Lindsay? So here, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just like, I just tied it off in a knot. Nothing special, nothing spectacular. Just a little monofilament loop. You just wanna make sure that you tie your knot really tight so it doesn't slip. And then once I kind of find in my center, I'm not sure if I really hit the center there, that's when I will hang it on my command adhesive. I have a command adhesive right here in the middle of my mantle that stays there. I think maybe I should start asking that company for some type of like compensation for as much as I use them and sell them. So then I'll find another section and I'll tie myself up. It's a great time for questions if y'all have any questions. While I'm like mindlessly tying knots over here. You'll have to excuse me, I have arthritic hands, so sometimes it takes me a second. All right. Woo, baby's big. It's covering up on my cute decor up there. That's okay. So we have two sides up.
If you were to make this an arch, just like the package, how would you hang the top part of the arch?
Okay, so in the package, we actually like do that in a studio. So we don't have, we're not restricted as much. I have done arches straight on the wall, behind a table similar to that. In the packaging pictures, we're actually getting to hang that from the ceiling. You don't see that. So that one's a little bit trickier You just wanna make sure that you're not making it too full, because once you hang it up against a wall and you hang it up with your command adhesives, you can still arch it like that, but you wanna make sure that you're giving your space to actually, like, giving yourself space to actually get it hung up, if that makes sense.
You could also hang it from your ceiling in your home.
Yes, I have done that too. You can hang it from your ceiling at home. You can do like command adhesives on your ceiling and do just really long monofilaments and get yourself a ladder or a tall husband like I have. He's so excited he's not working at home today because last time he had to help me like hang some of these things up. Okay, how does it look? Whew. It's big, guys. It's really big. So a couple things that we could do here is we could actually take off balloons on either end to make it smaller to fit this space. Again, this is the first time I've ever built one on here, and I probably should have gone a little bit smaller. You can also start moving your balloons. So like for instance, right here, I have a, back here that you can't see, I have a marble balloon. Those are pretty. I don't want it in the back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna very gently rotate it out so that way you can see him. And like these really big balloons, I don't necessarily want them sticking straight out like that. So I'm just gonna do the same thing and I'm gonna rotate him back so he fills it out from behind, but let some of the color show in the front. Same thing for this really big guy here. I would rather have my large orange balloon show than my large black balloon show. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. I'm gonna rotate that white one out. So this is what you can do. If you get it up there and you don't like exactly how it looks, because the strip is flexible, you can rotate the balloons around to make sure that you have what you want showing out front to be out front. I'm gonna do some shifting here. Because I had two orange balloons right next to each other and you couldn't really see my white balloon.
Nicole says it looks great. She loves the oversized look.
Thanks, Nicole. My 2-year-old is gonna have a heart attack when she comes down from her nap. Okay, so now we have our baby balloons. So, and you know what, guys? I just realized we actually had more silver. Like I didn't use all the big balloons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 7 more of the medium-sized balloons that I didn't even put up in here because of space constraints. But now we have the little baby balloons. And these little guys are genuinely baby balloons. You want them to be small, like just slightly bigger than your hand. And this is where our the question about our glue dots come in. So if you try and loop these little suckers in through the strip, they're gonna get lost in there with all their big brothers. So that's where the glue dots come in. We use the glue dots to strategically place balloons in the holes. Like for instance, I can see my strip right here. If I was having a party and I was being super OCD, I wouldn't want everybody to see my strip in there. So that's where you can go in and you can hide your holes and your open spots. Or let's say right here, I have a clump of orange. I don't want all that orange together, but I don't want to rotate out too much more. So I'll put, you know, the black small balloons in there to break up that color of all being together. But here's the thing though. Number one, a random quick tip, as you're doing these and blowing up these balloons, because of the way they make the latex, your hands get really icky. So wash your hands as frequently as you can, and that will help. The glue dots, once you stick those on, you're committed. There's no turning back. If you put a glue dot and you stick it onto your garland and you try and pull it back off, 9 times out of 10, you're going to pop the balloon. Unless you're Tim, who helps me with these at the studio, who has some kind of magic that he does with these glue dots that he can move them. But for the most part, you're committed. So keep that in mind. So you really want to like make sure you know where you're going with these before.
Betty is asking, is it easy to replace a popped balloon once you're hanging the balloons up?
Yes, it is easy to replace a popped balloon. I will say if you have it hung exactly how you want it, and it is perfect, and you just want to move one balloon, that is really hard because it's kind of like the butterfly effect or a domino effect. if you move one balloon, y'all saw as I was rotating, the whole arch kind of, adjusts with it. So that part is a little bit more difficult, is making sure that, you're gonna have to give yourself some grace here and realize that if it's absolutely perfect minus one balloon, stick a baby balloon on that one balloon that you don't like, because if you try and change the whole thing, you're gonna end up rotating it.
How many glue dots are you using on the small balloons?
I usually use 2. You can get away with 1 depending on where you put it. So I feel like this spot right here needs some orange. So there you go. So you see how I'm doing that? I'm just going in and I'm like filling in spots and just kind of like making it look a little bit more full. I will say these little glue dots are great for lots of things. So if you have any glue dots left over, when you finish your class, or when you finish building, absolutely do not throw them away. Save them for a future craft project. I don't know if they're acid free though, so don't put them in like a scrapbook or anything like that. Any other questions? No. Okay, so I'm very interested. Has anybody on the call or in class, have y'all actually built a balloon arch? And if you have, what was it for? So let me know. And then also, if you guys are making.
Devon says nice, and Marzo and Lynette have never built one.
They're a lot of fun, guys. I was really scared when we first started doing these because I'm not like a super good person when it comes to decorating, but these make it really easy, and they're spectacular. It's like such a showstopper if you're doing a party or an event and you put these in. It has always happened that people are just like so amazed with how good they look because they're easy and they're fun. Like, and everybody loves balloons.
Where did it go? Someone made it for a New Year's Eve party, a 40th birthday party for their parents' 40th anniversary and sister's birthday.
Oh, nice. So make sure if you're using our kits, if you're using our supplies,
showers,
or if you are buying the pieces and making them yourself with Michael stuff, make sure that you post them online for us to see and use the hashtag made it with Michaels. And I know that there is another hashtag that we're supposed to use. Lindsay, please remind me and Stephanie what it is. Hashtag make it with Michaels. Is there something I'm forgetting?
One says, I've made so many, but this class I'm learning so much.
Oh, that's good.
Hashtag make it with Michaels and hashtag Michaels classes are the
perfect
ones
so
we
yes,
are asking.
Hashtag make it with Michaels and hashtag Michaels classes. So I'm interested also to find out if you have made an arch and you found something, or a garland, and you found something or a tip or a trick that really worked well for you, please share it in the comments.
Someone's making it for their daughter's baby shower on Saturday.
Oh,
sounds like a
congratulations.
new grandmother.
Okay, what do you guys think? I'm pretty happy with it. I'm gonna have to redo some of my decor up there on the mantle though, so it can be seen, because I have some of the girls' artwork up there, and Lord knows you can't, like, you have to make sure they're equally represented when they come to your kids, right? You can't have too much art from one kid. Oh, no ma'am.
Says you make it look so easy to remove those glue dots. What's your trick? From Betty.
My trick is the fact that my hands are so dirty from all the balloons. Your hands get really dry from whatever they do with the latex to make the balloons. So I feel when I make the arches, I feel like I'm washing my hands constantly, which obviously I haven't been doing right now because I don't want to neglect my friends here in the class. But it actually does help with the glue dots though, because the glue dots, they will stick. So a funny thing, don't open it up really wide and start trying to use it, because then they all just start sticking to each other and you make a huge mess and you end up popping balloons. I speak from experience. So you want to keep it like really tightly rolled and only expose one glue dot at a time, because honestly, they really are quite sticky. And that's the other thing you can do is literally if you're having trouble with it sticking to your hands, you can literally just, like put it right onto the balloon and it pulls off.
How long do these usually take for you to build?
I can build one of these in about 30 minutes now, 45 minutes if I have to get out a ladder. When you first start, I would say give yourself 45 minutes to an hour. Blowing up the balloons is really the longest part. It helps with our air pump that we have, or the balloon pump that we have, it helps a lot. But it probably takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to blow them up, and then I can build one in like 15. But that's why it's good to like build it the night before if you're having a big event and you can hang it up. I blew up these balloons right before our class, so these are still really fresh. We built the banister garlands right before the class. But if my kids have anything to do with it, these will stay up at least for a couple days. If my husband has anything to do with it, it won't last before the night is done, because he'll be done with it. But I really want to make sure that you guys understand that this is not the end of it. So we have some, we have the bats that we're going to hang on this one as well. Where are my bats? So this one comes with bats. You also want to do the glue dots for that. So you can go in and add the bats strategically. But with any of our arches, if you go to Michael's and you buy just the arch that is like a red color or a blue color, you can get any of our big Mylar balloons or any of our big foil balloons. You can get different things and add it to it, different colors to personalize it. That's the thing that's really fun about these, is like you can really make these whatever you want. You can add in different colors. You can make it to a theme. I think we're probably going to do a Toy Story birthday party for my 2-year-old in January when she turns 3. And I've already got in my mind like which arches am I going to put together to make like a really big Toy Story theme. If you are a crafter and you have a silhouette machine or a Cricut machine, these little bats that we're using are just made out of cardstock. You can get your cardstock and you can add things to it with your glue dots to personalize it. You can add, words, you can add letters. Obviously, I did a lot of things here with our party decor for Halloween, but that's the fun part about the balloon garlands. Like the picture just shows you, this is our basic garland, but really get outside of the box and think about what can I add to this, or how can I adjust it to make it fit to what I want to do. You don't have to go and find a baby shark balloon arch somewhere. You can go to Michael's, you can get your blue garland, you can get some extra silver chrome, add it in. You can get our shark foil balloon, add that, ta-da, you've got, baby shark. So it's really, you can do a lot of different things with them. So for the bats, I'm going back to the small camera. For the bats, they come in as a cardstock. They look like this. So one of the things that we've kind of learned that you want to do is that you can kind of like bend them right at the body, kind of just give him a little bit of depth. So it kind of makes him look like he's more 3D. And I just use a little glue dot, and then you just stick them on your garland. The key here is make sure that you're sticking them not on a black balloon, because you want to make sure that you can see them. You want to make sure that they stand out.
Someone suggests you could also add flowers or roses for personalization, which I think is great.
Mm-hmm. We've seen lots of pictures of people adding the flowers and roses and floral. That's a huge trend right now. You get on Pinterest, you see it everywhere. It's beautiful. Like I mentioned before, you can do these as a color block instead of doing them all the colors mixed together. You can do that to make it look a little bit different. I've seen a lot of people doing a lot of fun, different, like not necessarily like we did, like you don't have to make it an arch that goes over a window. You don't have to make it an arch in a doorway. You can put them in lots of different places. You can put them on your banister. You can put them on your mantle. You can really like put these, pretty much anywhere and have fun with it. And like I said, everybody loves balloons. It's such a showstopper when you walk into a party and you see something like this. And it's nice to know that you can do this in literally like maybe an hour worth of effort. And it's just spectacular.
Judy's asking, could you put ribbon on the balloons and then put the balloon on the strip? I'm wondering if she's asking as a decoration and an accent, or as to functionally hang it.
So yeah, what was your name again?
Judy.
Judy, are you wondering, like, are you wanting to do this as a decoration, or are you wanting to do it as functional? I think you could definitely add them on there and have them hanging down as like a lot of ribbon hanging down, so that way it looks kind of like a ribbon garland or something behind. I think that would look spectacular. You don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be on there to keep them onto the strip though. It's really important that you're making sure that you are putting these larger balloons through the plastic strip that we provide, because that's why it looks like, that's what keeps it cohesive and looking full. That's another thing I've seen a lot of people do, is they'll hang like the fringe backdrops or the ribbon fringe or something behind and underneath it. So then you have this great arch, you have this great, showstopper piece, and then you can do the ribbon fringe or the tissue fringe or something underneath it. And it's really great if you do one of these and you do like the ribbon curtain or the fringe wall behind it as a backdrop. Those are so much fun right now. I know everybody's seeing them everywhere, especially like Instagram and Pinterest, where at parties they're having like the backdrop for the selfie station. Super fun.
Nikki said she did that for her daughter's 16th birthday.
And I bet the 16-year-old girls just went absolutely crazy over it with the selfie station. That sounds like so much fun. Okay, guys, where else do we need one? I don't want to overdo it. Yeah. So the bats that I have hanging up on the mirror and that I have hanging over there in front of my bookcase, those are actually bats that we sell too for Halloween decor. Like I said, all of this is pretty much all of the party stuff, all of the decor is Michael's Celebrate It brand. We're really proud of the party supplies that we've been able to bring you guys in the last couple of years. It's like we've really stepped up our game and trying to make sure that we're giving you what you want for your full party. So we hope that you are enjoying that. But okay, I think that's it. I think we're good. I don't want to add too many bats. I don't want to overdo it.
Tessa's asking, can you buy just the strip?
Not yet. We had that question last time, and I actually took it back to Stephanie, who's manning, the questions for me. She's our product manager for this area. She's working on that. We're gonna try and bring that into store so you can buy that, and then you can buy just the, the color balloons that you want off of the counter and, mix and match and make your own color combinations if it's not something that we're offering. I will tell you guys though, you need to make sure that you're in Michael's next spring and next year for back to school, because we have a lot of spectacular balloon decor coming for all of the seasons. I'm so excited. Y'all are going to die when you see it. It's a lot of really fun stuff. Stephanie stepped up her game in the last year for sure. And she's got a lot of fun stuff coming your way for balloon decor.
Janelle is assembling with you, and she said a few of her balloons are popping off. Does that mean they're too close together?
I would say, yes, they're probably too close together. I would say I give at least 1 to 2 spaces on that strip between most of mine. Occasionally, I'll do them 1 space apart if I really need to fill out a spot. Keep in mind, you don't have to get them super, super close together when you're doing the larger balloons. That's what the baby balloons are for. Once you get it hung up, if you have a gap, if you have a space that you need to fill in, that's what these little bad boys are for, to help you out there. So don't try and push them in too close together.
Betty says you can purchase the strip on Amazon. Yes, you can.
Betty!
Right now.
Betty!
July 22, we will have them in stores.
Yes, next summer they'll be in stores. We're working on it. So yes, if you insist on having one, Betty says you can get them on Amazon. I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't hear that.
When's your next class? You're doing so great. Everyone has lots of positive feedback and wishes they would have watched this before they built their own.
I don't know. I think y'all heard me say earlier that I work in Creatology, which is the kids section. So I am no longer actually in this department at Michael's. I'm actually in another area. So it's a fine line of me being able to balance my day job and this fun quote unquote night job. We are wanting to do another color blocked class soon. Stephanie, do we have Christmas balloons for this year?
For this year, no, we do not.
We do not.
Our next time you'll see balloons for the holidays in store will be Valentine's. And then lots for Easter, and then
yeah, and you
just,
have Valentine's.
and then it'll never stop.
Yeah, we have lots of Valentine's coming up for next year. We have lots of Easter, lots of spring, lots of back to school, so much fun stuff. I don't know. It takes me like, it'll probably be like another month or two. I will see if we can't pull together something before the end of the year. And if not, I'm completely open to doing one in January because I'm gonna have to build a balloon arch anyway for my kid's birthday. So might as well, two birds with one stone. But yeah, we'll do another class soon. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing these with you guys.
Marza's asking, can you demo on a next class how to make a freestanding column? No,
I can guarantee you it won't be the next class because it's gonna take me a hot minute to figure that one out, but we will look into it and see if we can't get something pulled together to be able to do that.
lots of comments that says our strips at Michael's are a little bit better, I think, and different. The Amazon strips just have a hole versus ours that has a star punch.
Which is true because the very first balloon arch that I ever built was before Michael's carried this product. I did get it from Amazon and that is a correct statement. The one that I got has a hole. It's something about the star helps hold the tail in a little bit more effectively.
Lots of people agreeing with that. Can we get an email regarding the next class? This was amazing. I'm going to head to Michael's for the holidays to get our plans.
I think that they will contact people that signed up for classes if there's a future class. Lindsay, take that note, see if that's something that we can do for the future. But for sure, guys, keep in mind, michaels.com offers all kinds of amazing classes. It's not just balloon arches, anything that you can imagine that you are even remotely interested in, go check it out. We have classes almost daily, and there's so much fun stuff out there. Even if you don't want to craft along and do that craft, you just want to learn something new and just watch it, you can do that. You don't always have to participate in the class. You can just be a passive listener, which is fine. But definitely check us out, weekly, bi-weekly, just to see what's going on, because we're always adding a lot of new stuff. Our classroom team is working so hard to make sure that we're bringing you guys all the content that you want to see and making sure that we're addressing all of the hot crafting crazes and the basics too. So make sure that you just keep tabs on this, and we'll see if we can't get some type of communication out as far as when the next class is going to take place.
One more confirmation. Do we start with biggest and then go to the smallest on balloons?
Yes, that's what I do.
Right?
I start off, most balloon arches have 3 sizes of balloons, what I call the big mamas, the middle sized balloons, and then the babies. And I start off with anchoring it with the big balloons. I fill in with the middle balloons. I hang it, and then I put my baby balloons in as filler to fill spots that aren't as full.
Can we use the the glue dots to add other size balloons?
We have in some cases, like if we're trying to make something look very specific, we have used glue dots to hold the larger balloons in place. I can't guarantee you though that they would hold, I don't think it would hold them all the way.
Like if we have extra large balloons that didn't fit onto the strip, could we use the glue dots?
I don't think it'll hold the large balloons, but I have a really hard time, unless you cut your strip prematurely, you're going to have enough strip for the balloons that are included. One of the things that you can kind of see right here is I have a good 1.5 feet of strip left over on either side, and I cut this strip. So we often say don't cut your strip until you're completely done.
That's what she said. She cut hers prematurely.
We all learn the hard way. I learned that the hard way too. But yeah, just keep the strip on the ends, and so that way, if you need to make it longer, or if you need to add more on the ends once you get it hung, you have that capability. So yeah, you may think, I've never used the entire strip before for anything because it is so much longer than what the balloon is actually, the arch is made for. But definitely give yourself a little bit of leeway on either end so you can continue to build if you need to.
What did you hold those small balloons down with? Just another little reminder.
Oh, with the small balloons, we attach those with the glue dots that come in the kits. Super, super, super sticky glue dots. And again, I'm going to remind you, once it's attached to the balloon, you're committed. Don't try and pull it off. You're going to pop the balloon you're attaching it to. So yeah, any other questions? Do you have any other random questions about any of the other product that you see here? We have our product manager here, so she'll be glad to answer. I will say though, I cheated. I combined 2 different garlands here. So this boo does not go with that pumpkin. I mixed and matched.
How do you measure your strip? Is there a rule of thumb when measuring your product or your strip?
Okay, so normally like I said before, our garlands are normally built to be either approximately 10 feet long or 8 feet long. And look at the packaging, it'll tell you, like, I believe, yeah, this one says that it was made to be 10 feet long. So what I normally do when I'm at the studio, when I build these, I place my chairs for my strip about 11 to 12 feet apart. I hang the strip on that, and then I leave another foot or 2 feet on either end in case I need it to adjust or shift. Because like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect when you hang it. I mean, when you're building it, it's when you get it up and then you start saying, okay, I need to shift here, I need to shift there. So you want to give yourself a little bit of leeway. I've had it to where it was really too big and I've had to go and add balloons onto the end. So that's what I'm saying. I normally probably measure out 11, 30, about 15 feet of the strip is what I normally use. But I try to keep my chairs that I use about 10, 11 feet apart. I'm sure there's other ways that you could do it, but we built a lot of these at the studio, and this is the easiest way that we found to do it, is just to build it in between two chairs.
Are these balloons latex?
Yes. Yeah, some of them have a foil.
Some other kits have foil. This one's all latex.
Yes, some of the other kits have some foil balloons there, but these are all. I think our Valentine's one has a foil balloon in it this year. I'm sorry, for 2022. We think really ahead in retail. We're working on Halloween and Christmas for 2022 for you guys now, and we're looking at timelines for 2023 now. Making sure that we're bringing you all good products.
What do you recommend for transporting a balloon arch to a restaurant?
A very large SUV or passenger van. I have a Dodge Journey. It's a mid-size SUV, and I have transported a balloon arch in it, maybe even two. If there was no, I think I did two once when there was nobody else in the car with me. I did lose a couple balloons in transit, but it can be done. You just have to be especially careful. And the big thing is make sure you don't let it hit the ground. If it hits concrete, rough concrete, rocks, grass, you're gonna lose a balloon or two, for sure.
Personally, I only do the large and medium balloons. I wait until I'm there setting it to do the small balloons. Like I'll put all the small balloons in a trash bag and cart them separately, and then attach when I'm at my final location.
Definitely. I don't know if you guys could all hear Stephanie clearly, but when we build them to move, and we know that we have to move them, we'll only put the large and medium balloons in. We'll keep the baby balloons in a garbage bag or something and transport them with us. And I never put the baby balloons on until it's hung in its final resting location. So yeah, we've moved them before. Like I said, I've had people, like the last class I taught, I gave away all of those arches, and I had all kinds of people sending me pictures like, this is what I did with it, and they still looked great even though they had been transported and sat in my garage for a day. Yeah, that was spectacular. Anything else before we wrap it up? We appreciate all of you joining us today. I've had so much fun. I hope that you guys like it. I hope that you've learned something. I hope we get to see you again. I hope we see you in Michael's soon. Don't forget that if you build these, send us pictures. We want to see them. Post them online. Hashtag make it with Michael's and hashtag Michael's classes. So make sure you share your masterpieces with us and all of the other crafters. We all want to see what you've done. So thank you all, and you'll have a great afternoon. And we'll see you next time.